everyone. How is work going? Great. Lyudmila Kirilinskaya is taking a drive around the area. On the eve of the new year, she has a very important and responsible mission to make sure that every New Year tree differs from each other in design and at the same time withstands all weather conditions. After all, the capital of Kazakhstan is well known for its strong winds, so a serious foundation is required to strengthen the 25-meter spruce. Do not forget about the force majeure, the snowstorm. Before that, there was a snowstorm for a day and a half. We can't take risks. It's dangerous for people. And then there is a mechanic arm, because we must put a 36 tons concrete on the base of the tree so that it does not fall anywhere. It involves a very meticulous installation electrical work. Christmas tree is a complex structure. What's going on with the cable for laying the energy connection? As a rule, the main preparation for the new year in the capital begins after the celebration of Independence Day. Therefore, the city administration and contracting organizations have very tight deadlines. Sometimes, in order to complete the implementation of an object, people have to work several shifts. In general, there are 30 people in each team for each separate section. These are engineers, electricians, crane operators, and joiners. And of course, decorators. If the reliability of a design primarily depends on technical personnel, then an aesthetic effect is purely on decorators' shoulders.
Мы стараемся не повторяться. Если, например, эта елка, это у нас елка называется вообще, это казахская девушка. Это нарядная.
We try not to repeat ourselves. If you look at this tree, it's a Kazakh girl. There are elements of Kazakh culture everywhere. If it's golden red in the afternoon, in the evening all its patterns will be white and the dress will be red.
Они красного цвета. То есть она будет золотая, красная. Вечером она будет белоснежная. Все узоры будут белые, а платье будет красное. Куда-нибудь вот сюда, наверное.
The employees of the city administration of these winter days may have the hottest time of the year. You need to make sure that all contractors fulfill their obligations on time and the residents are happy with the holiday. One of the most visited places in the capital is the Lev Bank. Its official name is the Yesil district. It was created a little more than 10 years ago. It would seem an insignificant period of time on a timescale of 10 years, but by the number of attractions, it's the most famous and popular part of the city. After all, the most significant objects and organizations of an international level are concentrated here. By area, the district occupies more than 50% of the entire territory of the city of Nur-Sultan and is considered the largest in the capital. Therefore, preparations for New Year's events in this area are the most intense. This year, about 11 Christmas trees will be installed in the Yesil district. On the same territory, near the trees, there will be ice hills and a skating rink. Local entrepreneurs will install kiosks with hot drinks and food in the same places.
Различные киоски с горячими напитками, с едой.
Here we are making a construction for an ice hill. The width will be 3 meters and the height about 6 meters. People are engaged in welding work. We're all getting ready, and we don't have enough time. Kazbakov is one of the entrepreneurs who from year to year is engaged in the arrangement of skate rental points, the construction of ice rinks and ice hills. His working team has builders, welders and wood craftsmen. Up to 15 people work on each site. We work with metal, with ice and wood. We take the containers, refine them. They should all look aesthetically pleasing. We sheath the lining of the container so that it looks beautiful. People can come, relax, take pictures on the ice rink and ice hills.
Пофотографироваться, покататься на коньках, на горке покататься.
At each area of the city, an ice rink and an ice hill, a rental point of skates, and the food station are planned. To equip the latter, reinforced concrete vans are purchased, which are lined with wood. They are supplied with electricity and heating so that the people can relax in comfort. In general, serving capacity of one such leisure point is up to 1,000 people a day.
Рассчитан на 350 пар обуви. Там включает
350 pairs of shoes from the smallest to the size 46 can fit in here. People sometimes doubt that we have such sizes of shoes, but we have it and people are happy.
46 размеров выдаем, катаются довольны и радуются.
According to Rahat, this project for him is not only a way to earn money, but also an opportunity to contribute to the development of the city and bring benefit to society.
Много людей приходят, с детьми приходят.
People come, they are grateful because they say they used to have to go to other parts of the city, and now they just come here for a nearby house. That's in addition to the fact that we're engaged in entrepreneurship. We get satisfaction here.
Там, занимаемся предпринимательством, также это получаем какое-то удовлетворение свое.
In total, more than 50 Christmas trees, 30 slides, 20 ice rinks, and 6 hockey courts are being installed in the city, most of which are being built at the expense of private organizations and entrepreneurs of the capital. This object is also being built by businessmen. Very soon, a skating rink and an ice slide will appear near the shopping and entertainment center. Building material in the form of ice cubes is brought from the Yesil River. This year, for the first time in 10 years, builders who built ice rinks in the capital of Kazakhstan faced the problem of finding ice. December was abnormally warm by the standards of Nur-Sultan. It led to the fact that the water on the Yesil River did not freeze to the required 30 centimeters in depth. The problem had to be solved literally on the go.
По времени уходит где-то недели-две, чтобы это сделать. Имею в виду на один.
It takes about 2 weeks to bring the ice bricks, lay them, pour water on top.
Все это кирпичи, эти ледяные кубики вырезать, привезти.
In this case, we have a metal frame. It's reliable, stable. When the frame is welded on top, it can be sheathed with plywood or ice, and then ice is laid on the slope. And then we pour the water on top.
И сверху потом, когда устанавливается каркас, он обшивается то ли фанерой, можно льдом, а потом уже идется кладка льда, то есть на ту поверхность, на этот уклон ведется кладка льда кубиками. Сверху в морозную погоду заливаем еще сверху воду.
Of the holidays, everyone tries to decorate their home in a special way. Especially for those who follow the fashion of interior decoration, we turn to specialists. In Europe, they usually decorate the front door, and this immediately creates a New Year mood. Not only shops decorate their windows, create a New Year's mood, but also every person. When you come home, you enter the door, and you are in a good mood right from your doorway. And I think this is a very good tradition. As it turned out, this year experts highlight several trends in interior decoration, and one of them is environmental friendliness. Fir tree branches, cotton, fruit slices, dried flowers, these and many other materials are increasingly used in decoration. Today, floral arrangements in decorating the interior can be found much more often than Christmas decorations or tinsel. Florists, decorators know that for the new year, there are special winter varieties of flowers on sale. They're especially grown in the Netherlands. We use New Year's varieties of flowers. This might be red amaryllises or these branches with red berries. We use flowers in floral arrangements. They're most often used as table decorations. They can be of completely different shapes, sizes, depending on the purpose, the general style of the evening, and the whole party. It can be a mono composition or with the addition of a Christmas tree, fir, in order to reflect the winter mood.
Опять же, с добавлением елки и
там, пихты для того, чтобы все-таки отразить зимнее настроение.
Branches, cinnamon, cones, and a couple of dried orange slices, an ideal floral arrangement assembled in one Christmas wreath, a traditional element of Western decor that already won the hearts of Kazakhstan people. It can be purchased at almost any store, made to order or handmade. The last option, by the way, is a reflection of another global trend: do it yourself. On social networks for several years now, this trend has been at the forefront of the most watched videos, as people are more and more passionate about creativity. During the New Year period, masterclasses are held for such creative people. Their certified florists share in detail and show how to create a unique Christmas wreath that is perfect for any interior. I have been doing this for the second year now. I prefer the eco style to mix different types of conifers. In the elements of decor, I prefer everything natural. I like to see cotton, elements of cinnamon, and cones. I really like when the house is filled with this aroma. I can place it outside of my house, but sometimes I bring it inside to enjoy this aroma. All materials are environmentally friendly and undergo special processing so that the wreath retains its original appearance for as long as possible.
Строительный материал, который еловые ветки, точнее,
We order the building material as spruce branches from the Netherlands, and these are special types of spruce that don't crumble. For example, as Christmas trees that are grown in nurseries in Kazakhstan or Russia, which needles are already on the floor in just 2 weeks. Here, the situation is different. The wreath completely retains its shape. The only thing that happens to it is that it loses a little of its color. From bright green, it turns to dusty green. Everything else remains in place, and it can even be used in decor for the next New Year.
превращается в такой пыльно-зеленый. А все остальное остается на местах, условно его даже можно оставить и до следующего Нового года.
Today you can also make a Christmas tree with your own hands. It became easy and inexpensive as never before. In one of the capital stores, we were shown how to create the symbol of the holiday on your own.
Рукодельная елка, она может быть любого размера.
Handmade tree can be of any size. It's made on the basis of a green color, floral sponge. It can be purchased at any store. You can take it in the form of a cone or in the form of a brick and cut it with a knife at home. And further, I use these branches of conifers and nobiles. These are varieties of fir trees. They can be bought in our store or at any other horticultural florist shops or where they sell seedlings.
Они у нас есть в продаже, можно в каких-то садоводческих, флористических магазинах или там, где продают саженцы.
The height of the trees varies from the smallest, 15 centimeters in height, to a human height. The advantage is that it allows to combine different natural materials: fir, pine, spruce, and tuya branches. In addition, as the florists themselves say, working on such handmade Christmas trees creates holiday magic in the family. After all, what is created with one's own hands bears a special meaning. But besides this, such decoration still has many other practical advantages. This tree can stand for months, as it has a nourishing base of a moistened floristic sponge, so the tree will dry very slowly, and even when it dries, it will not lose its shape, but its color will change just a little. It will become gray and not so green, so it can stand for months. It will not crumble, you don't have to sweep the floors under it constantly, and again, children, animals will not drop it. It can be put in any place. You can put it on the table if you want to have a feast or a photo shoot. You can beautifully do it. It's compact and comfortable.
Захотели там на стол, если там какое-то застолье с красивой елкой, или фотосессию, если хотите сделать, тоже ее можно поставить в любое место. Она компактная, удобная.
Also, natural, often handmade ornaments are used for this Christmas tree. It takes about 2 hours to create such a composition.
Игрушки можно делать как из папье-маше или из ниток, например, склеенных или из каких-то веточек.
It's possible to use decorations from threads, papier-mâché. You can do them yourself. Almost everything that we use is natural. There are such fruit slices of oranges, apples. They add natural look to our tree. Natural materials include these tails. They're called lagurs. It's a dried flower. It's colored. It can be painted in any color and also put on the wire.
Эти слайс-фрукты и вот эти вот хвостики, это называется лагурус, так как сухоцвет. Он крашеный, можно покрасить в любой цвет. Также маленькими кусочками насаженный на проволоку.
Few people look at cooking from an architectural point of view, but when it comes to creating gingerbread houses, design and construction skills are indispensable. Almost every hotel and shopping and entertainment complex in the capital decorates its interiors with such decorative elements. Many foreigners come to Kazakhstan, for whom Christmas with its traditional sweet treats is a special holiday. So, shopping centers and the hotels create such gingerbread buildings to make every guest feel at home. Creativity is unlimited here. Some compete in size, others in quantity. For example, an entire alpine village was built in this hotel. Moreover, this composition is not yet completed. Periodically, the confectioner adds new buildings here, where each is different from the previous one. Especially for our program, confectioner Vera Strelnikova held a masterclass on cooking a Christmas house.
Для приготовления пряничного теста нам необходимы такие ингредиенты,
To prepare gingerbread dough, we need ingredients such as honey, egg, flour, sugar, butter, and spices, such as cinnamon and ginger. After kneading the dough, we put all the ingredients in the refrigerator overnight for ripening. Then the next day, we take it out from the refrigerator, leave it at a room temperature for some time, and proceed to the modeling of our cakes.
с холодильника. Оставляем при комнатной температуре еще на некоторое время и уже приступаем к непосредственно лепке наших коржей.
Having made a template and cutting holes in it for windows or doors, the product can be transferred to a baking sheet and sent to the oven after the dough is covered with egg whites. 10 minutes in an oven at a temperature of 160 degrees is enough to bake such 1 centimeter thick cakes. Our cakes are not only fragrant, but also very beautiful. Look how delicious they look. Baked cakes are left for 3-4 days, so that they mature and become more fragrant. And only after that, all the details are stick together. Molten sugar is used to stick different parts to each other. It takes about 3 hours to assemble and decorate such a small house. In general, the tradition of baking gingerbread houses has deep roots in history. It is believed that in ancient Rome, people used such bread houses as an altar in which they hoped gods would come to live. Sometime later, this tradition was forgotten, but at the beginning of the 19th century, it resumed in Germany. And since then, it has been popular not only in Europe, but also in many other countries of the world. Modern gingerbread houses are used exclusively as a decorative element, despite the fact that all the components are edible. But since this house is a holiday decoration, people often simply do not dare to use it for food.
Вы можете видеть здесь. Наши домики все собраны, установлены.
This is the result of our work. As you can see, they're all completely different, not only in their external beauty, but also in their size. We try to put love in our work while making each house to make sure that it will be pleasing to the eyes of our guests.
Так сказать, они разные по размерам. Есть маленькие домики, средние и большие. В каждом доме мы старались максимально вложить свою любовь к нашей работе, и чтобы намного приятнее было это глазу наших посетителей.
In total, this mini village has 14 houses. Their production took about a month of work and 100 kilograms of gingerbread dough. Imagine, this miracle village required 15 kilograms of honey only. Designers were engaged in patterns and sketches, and then confectioners brought these ideas to life.
Самое сложное в данном домике было слепить крышу. Потому что крыша
The most difficult thing in this house was to make a roof. Every detail in it was glued separately with sugar. Then it was all tightened by meringue. Plus, it took extra time to dry it all. Then the last final stage was to put another layer of such decorations, as adding details in the form of such icicles made from meringue, from caramel.
Добавление каких-то мелких деталей в виде вот таких вот сосулек из безе, из карамели.
The Alpine gingerbread village attracts hotel guests not only for its beauty but also for its aroma. Some cannot even resist the temptation not to taste the delicacy. Last year, it was so tasty that despite its hard texture, children managed to gnaw it a little. This year, we did not even have time to close it. If you look at the decorations from meringue, they are already eaten a little. And this ginger house is likely to break the record as the largest in the capital. Its author is the chef of one of the hotels in the city. He came to Nur Sultan from Indonesia, where about 40% of the population celebrates Catholic Christmas. Therefore, for Harry Sudarmanto, a Christmas tree and a ginger house are a must for winter holidays. Harry is happy that he can continue this tradition in Kazakhstan.
Ginger house we prepare about starting maybe 1 month ago. So it's need to start from the gingerbread and then making dough every day, making the decoration, and then preparing also for the first the ginger house from the wood, and then we put from the cookies, so a bit more time also. So let's say about 10 people also is put hand together to make it this ginger house done.
Diego Amado Garcia arrived in Nur Sultan from Spain. He has been living here for 4 years now. He happily learns local traditions, but at the same time tries not to forget those family customs that he knows since childhood.
Мы забираем все семьи вместе, и вот когда уже мы ужинаем, праздникуем, пьем.
We get together as a family to celebrate, and then at midnight we eat grapes. It's believed that if you eat all 12 grapes, it will be a good year. We also need to wear something dirty, and we also need to put something golden in the glass, so that the next year will be good and prosperous.
Что-нибудь красное. И еще нам нужно обязательно положить внутри бокала, с какой мы делаем тост, надо положить что-нибудь из золота. Что будет в следующем году будет удачный. Yes!
A few days before the New Year, the main Christmas tree of the country is traditionally lit in the capital. This moment is the official start of New Year's entertainment. By this time, as a rule, all leisure points in the city map are already ready to welcome guests.
A
lot of people gathered here, and despite the weather, residents are in a festive mood. A lot of people worked on this. I would like to thank our workers, specialists, who tried very hard, despite this weather, and created such a holiday for our people.
И несмотря на такую погоду, подарили и сделали такой праздник нашему населению.
This year, a unified concept of city design was developed under the slogan Khayramda Khala, or City of Virtues. This motto was borrowed from the treatise of Al-Farabi, Residents of a Virtuous City, in time to celebrate the scientist's anniversary. They also presented a song of the same name, Khayramda Khala, which in the near future will become very popular in the country.